morning, good morning, good morning. It's Mike here. Hope you're having a great day or night when you're watching the video here. Today I'll be really busy, guys. Got to do a lot of listing and packaging, which I'll show you guys here what I sold on eBay, Amazon, Etsy. Also, we'll have a little bit of a story time. We'll talk about some processes for your business, learning from your mistakes, how important it is. So other than that, we'll see what else we do today. All right, let's kick into what I sold today. This is first order is from Amazon. This is a DVD disc only lot. This came out of that Goodwill big DVD haul. It's the Company of Wolves from 2002. Disc only, sold for $15.59 shipped. Moving on to Etsy. This is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1988, Michelangelo. Just a loose action figure here. Got this out of probably a grab bag at Goodwill, those lots you find all the toys in. Maybe a garage sale, I can't remember. At the end of the day, it sold for $8 shipped, maybe had a quarter in it. Another Etsy order. This came out of that recent storage unit I purchased. This is a 90s Mickey Mouse Disney Texas like pinstripe t-shirt here, and size extra large / 2XL. Kind of ran pretty big. It was XL on the thing, but overall it sold for $12 shipped. Moving on to eBay. Sold this, what is this one? This is a 2002 Cher Living Proof Farewell Concert Tour t-shirt, size large. Sat on eBay for about 94 days, give or take, and sold for $20.03. Maybe had $1 in it from a thrift store. Move these down here. Next item here, just listed this. Took 4 days to sell. It's a Hilo Haiti floral, like a Hawaiian shirt here. It's kind of unique. I don't know if you can see that. It's got like fish that have wings and are flying upside down. So I call it Flying Fish Wings Rayon Hawaiian Vacation shirt. Size large / extra large because it measured correctly to be either or size. Anyway, this one had a flaw. I don't know if you can see it right there. It had one of those loops on the collar, and it looks like somebody cut it off. So overlooked that when I was at the thrift shop. And anyway, just decided, you know what, let's just get rid of this pretty cheap. So it sold for $6.80 plus $4.25, a total of $11.05 on Buy It Now eBay. Maybe it had 50 cents a buck into the shirt. And the last item here for today is a Roundtree New York Dillard's window pane navy. Just a blazer here. Real nice, sharp looking blazer. Honestly, it was really nice. Size 44L. Paid $1 or $2 for this at the thrift store recently. Took about 2 weeks to sell. Sold for $34 plus $13 shipping for a total of $47, and it's going to St. Charles, Illinois. So lifetimes ago, I owned a freight forwarding company, and just going to talk briefly about that because it's an interesting story, and I think it's something you can learn from. So lifetimes ago, I found some partners, 2 partners, and I had one that was a silent partner, and never met the silent partner until one day we needed more money, right? So I remember going to this country club, this sophisticated place in Illinois, you know, members only type deal. Walked in there, and this guy's name was Stuart. And just within seconds of just glancing at him, looking at his appearance, you know, I knew, I'm like, this guy's got his act together. You can just tell when people have a demeanor like that, right? So after talking to him for a little bit, you know, he's like, introduce yourself. I introduce myself, blah, 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 blah. You know, he then goes on to say, well, let me tell you a story about a business I started a long time ago. And keep in mind, I know who this guy is, okay? This guy owns major drugstore chains. But he was telling me how he started that business, and it was very interesting to hear. To kind of sum it up, it was pretty much like this. You know, back in the 50s, late 40s, he was going door to door, knocking on people's doors, and he had commodities: toothbrush, shampoo, shaving cream, okay? And he'd go door to door and take orders, and he'd sell it right on the spot there, that door-to-door salesman. Well, you know, being a wise guy, a smart guy, he was always looking outside the box and going, you know, what else do people need? So over time, he started investing in other products and bringing it door to door, showing them, like right in front of them, hey, here's the, you know, check out this new, you know, comb or whatever it was. It doesn't matter. But what he did at every sale is if they bought it or not, he'd always ask, well, what can I bring next time that you would buy? And I think it's crucial, right? Because it's always like, I always say this to you guys, right? Just ask. If you go to the garage stores, the thrift stores, just ask. Especially garage stores, garage sales. Hey, do you have any video games? Oh yeah, I got a whole box here. If you don't ask, you're never going to get, right? So long story short, he is out there going door to door. Now his business is moving, right? He's moving some stuff. He's got 30, 40 clients every week. They're replenishables, So then he gets a couple of his friends together. Now they've got a catalog of stuff that they're just delivering door to door. They have checklists. Okay, hey ma'am, here's your first order, right? When you're ready to have the next order, just call us and we'll be able to come over and drop it off to you. So he built this little mini empire out of really nothing, just becoming more convenient for the homeowners, right? They didn't have to go out. This guy would deliver it for them, right? And he did it with a small margin, but he built up a clientele over the years and offering new products. He was selling them microwaves. He was selling them all this craziness over time. But what that allowed him to do was, one, work for himself, be independent, entrepreneurialism. And then he developed this and knew that this would work in a bigger scale. And he knew at that point in time as well, he just could not do this by himself. Relating back to thrifting and this is that and what we're doing as resellers, you can only go so far with just who you are, right? And how much time you can put in your job, part-time, full-time, etc., etc. And once you figure out that, you can master the art of what you do and then multiply yourself, you could do pretty well for yourself, right? But you're going to need to hire people or get helpers in. So anyway, long story here, I know. The simple thing is this guy just kept building off what he kept building off of, right? And over the course of 40 years, he built an empire, right? And he said, you know what? I never had flashy things. I never was a member at a country club because I worked 30 years of my life to enjoy the better things later in life. So all you guys that are out there and you're spending your money because you got to have the next Xbox One or the next Robert Graham shirt or the next chicken wing deal at Burger King, think about it first before you make that purchase, okay? You can't build a business if you have no capital, if you have no money, right? So think about that. Now let's talk about progress. Progress with your business. Where are you headed to? Where are you going? In what direction are you headed? Is the progress right now where you're like, oh my God, sales are stagnant, sales aren't happening? What you really have to do is look at the numbers. And I've said this since day one, guys. You got to keep track of your numbers. You got to understand what your price points are, how much you're making money on these items that you're buying, how long is it taking to get your investment out of it. And once you have the data, you become very dangerous, all right? Whether you're selling books and making $1 profit on Amazon, this doesn't matter, right? You got to look at the picture every month, every quarter, every year. Are you making progress with your business? Because if you're not, this is where you have to make a change, right? You've got to make a change for the better, and you've got to understand, if you don't have the data, now you got to go and create the data. So if you're listening right now and you're like, Mike, I don't have the data, none of this, what I'll be talking about in the next 5 minutes, will make any sense because you can't relate to it, With simple things like, what is your time worth? Do you even know how much money you're making per hour? How much money you're making per item? Are you calculating the cost of drive time to the thrift store? How much you're spending at the thrift store? All these little minute, finer details, you need to know what they are so you can duplicate yourself if you ever want to get down that road, or make your just one-man operation better, okay? Because take, for example, sourcing items, listing, shipping, packaging. All of these things take time. Okay? And it's all about processes. If you can figure out a process, a system to increase speed on those, or by prepping ahead of time, let's say, for example, your shirts and you organize them, you got them ready bagged up, and you know where they're at when it sells, and you can get it in 10 seconds, yeah, that's efficient, right? You have to have these systems in place if you want to move your business forward, or grow, actually. You can sit there and buy things left and right every day. It piles up in your house. Next thing you know, you got 50 piles of clothing piled up. You have no idea. That's just wasted money at some point, It's investment, sure, you just grab a little pile, you list it, right? But if you're looking to try to grow what you're doing with this business, you got to be efficient. You got to understand this is a business, and you got to treat it like a business. Okay, because if you go to some bank or you go to somebody, some investor, and you say, listen, I've got something going on here that's pretty killer. Let's not even say it's reselling. Let's say it's private label. Let's say you've got the next iPhone product you're going to make, right? These people that you're going to borrow money from, or they're going to invest in you, want the finer details. Trust me, okay? Because nobody I know or ever met who's invested in me just went off my word, okay? So keep that in mind. So back to the whole thing with the example here with the cost of goods. If you're out right now, like right now, I'm going shopping. You got to look at the item at some point in time before you make the buy, right? You're holding it in your hand, going, okay, this is $3.99 for this. It's a cool looking T-shirt. Okay, what can it sell for? You know, do you know what it's going to sell for? Do you know what you're going to price it at? And if you say, yes, this is for $4, I think I can get $15 for it. Okay, then attempt it. Buy it, make the purchase. But do you know how much other costs are involved with just buying that one $4 T-shirt? I mean, you got to remember this, guys. Your time, right? The time to measure the items, the time to photograph the items, the times to package it, pre-package it, organize it, ship it, leave feedback, the whole 9 yards. If you can figure that out, next time you list one thing, you'll see the numbers. You'll say, oh, wow, I didn't realize this, that actually that $4 shirt is actually costing me $9 in time. Okay? Again, you got to know your hours. You got to know the data. You won't know this unless you have the data in place. So, understanding this, if you can understand every little thing you buy is a calculated risk, you'll do great. But you got to know the costs. You know, I see a lot of people, and I hear from a lot of resellers, this is that. Yeah, well, you just go to the weigh-in pay and keep loading up. It's 25 cents an item. Well, what if you have all these items that you've got from the bins, or you know, and you have 5,000 on eBay, but you're only selling 100 every 2 weeks or 200 a month? You know how long it'll take you to get rid of that stuff? Honestly, especially if you've built up your store, especially eBay stores with clothing. If you built it up with such a mass amount of products, do you know how long that'll take? Years. And it says dead weight. Sure, items trickle in, sales come in over time. But if you are up to over 1,000 or 2,000 items in your store and they've been sitting there like that for a while, you got to ask yourself this question, you know. What time do you have in them? I mean, think about this. If you have an eBay store, right, you get, let's say, whatever level it is, you got 300 free listings in your store, right, before they start charging that 20 cents or whatever it may be. You have an item sit on eBay for 6 months. What is that? $1.20? Right there. That cost is going back into that product. Right? A year goes by, $2.40. So now your $12 item, $15 item, you thought you were going to make $9 on it? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I think these are some small things, guys, just making this video today to talk to you about it, that really could change your business and change the way you're thinking about your purchases. Okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm all about fast flips. I'm all about long-term holds, the whole 9 yards. But as every day goes by, I could buy all day. There's plenty of stuff to buy. We all know that. Plenty of things to flip. The list goes on and on and on what you want to do with it. But at the end of the day, it's got to make sense to you, and you got to be able to make money, save money, and grow. That's it, guys. That is the secret to reselling, to longevity, to, yeah, this guy almost just hit me, to having a successful business that over time just keeps making you money, right? So if you guys enjoyed today's video, please give me the thumbs up. I'm gonna hit the store right here. Yes, it's a 99-cent store. Do a little shopping here. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the thumbs up, guys. I really appreciate all of you guys watching. If you have any comments or concerns about anything, leave them down below. Till next time I'm out here, peace. Vlog over.